Hey, it's Rosie Batista here, and I am bringing you another card deck creation success story. And I'm here with the amazing Steph Zito and her gorgeous, gorgeous card deck, which I'm going to let her tell us all about. But I really want to find out first, Steph, um, what interested you in even making a card deck?
That's a good question. I use cards. I am an intuitive, and so I use cards all the time. And I just felt I was ready to make a card deck. Some things kind of channel through you. You just know you're meant to do something, and it just felt like time. I've been working with this particular material, the concepts, for a long time, and it was just ready.
That's awesome, really. And I love them. They're just so amazingly beautiful. So tell us a little bit about you. Who are your cards specifically for?
Yeah. Well, like I mentioned, I am an intuitive soul purpose coach. And so I help mainly women just to really find that inner spark and
Mm,
to bring who we are out into the world. Whether we are looking to monetize that, to switch jobs, to switch careers, just to get that clarity and to tap into our own strength, our own intuition, to really
mm.
understand we have this beautiful power to manifest what we desire. And so for years, I've been working with the energy centers. Like everything is energy, everything has frequency. And so I work with the chakras. I have my chakra banner right here. I've really seen a lot of great transformation with clients as they clear blocks in certain chakras. And so I just felt compelled to have these messages channel through with this Activate Your Chakras card deck. And so this is really for, I'd say it's mainly women who are purchasing it, women who are creative, women who are inspired, women who are looking for just a little bit of direction or a place to put your focus every day. If you like to meditate, I'm seeing what's been interesting is seeing who's purchasing this. I've had teachers purchase this, parents
Mm.
for their children, psychics who want to use it in conjunction with their tarot decks. So they like it because I
Wow.
have an ask, an affirmation, and an action for each of the chakras. So there's different ways that you can utilize this deck to help get the guidance that you're looking for.
I love it. So it can be someone that's experienced with chakras or someone actually just beginning to learn about them.
Yeah, and the
It's
nice
really
thing, I
great.
thought about that, and I have a card at the end that helps to describe
Mm,
briefly each of the chakras. So if you're not really familiar with them, just we know that, we feel like, when you feel a spark in your heart, when you feel a pit
right.
in your stomach, when you feel like a tightness, like you want to say something, but you're
Yeah.
holding
Oh,
back in
yeah.
your throat. So this helps us to get to know the chakras better, and it also helps us to key into intuitively, we pick the card that's meant for us. So if I'm going to pick a card right now, you're going to love this. You're
I'm
going to love
sure.
this. So this is the exact card I picked last night
That's
when we did a
great.
card deck party. I am love. This is because when I channel these things, like in the work that I do, the biggest thing that we have that we are is love. And this is a reminder that we
Mm,
forget all the time that we are love. And when we get stuck and we get in fear, we forget that we are love. And what we're looking to do, this creative project we have coming through us, is coming from love. And so
right.
when we tap back into this is why I made this deck. So we can pull a card that's meant for us. We can either journal on it that morning or meditate on it or just
Mm.
have it by your computer. So as you're working, and I'll do this, you just go back to remind yourself of that's the space I want to be in. That's the vibration I want to be in right now.
Yeah. And it's so amazing, right? Because it only takes that one simple reminder. It's not like
Mhm.
it's not difficult, yet we make it so difficult, right? It's
Our brains are really easy to rewire. They really are. It's just a matter of repeat. Our
mm,
minds are actually trained to about 95% of the time look for issues. Like that's like in our DNA to
yeah.
survive. And so we look for problems, we look for reasons why not, we
Oh, well.
procrastinate. So, but when we have something really simple and we just put it right by the computer, we're
Yeah.
rewiring our brains towards that. That's the vibration I
Yeah.
want. That's what I said I want. That's where I want to be today.
I
That's where I'm
love
creating
it.
from.
No, I
So
love
when
it.
I do that, it makes it really simple.
Yeah, and I mean, so many people could be helped by this, but that is just an amazing, even that concept that we're wired to find what's wrong. Right?
Right?
Everybody watching this can say, "Oh yeah, I do that," right? But once you start to train yourself, though, and then
hmm
even just looking at it, you're like, "Oh yeah, right." right?
Hmm.
Which is the one I just pulled, which I love. I
Oh,
follow my
good.
soul purpose.
Yes,
And yes, I do. Yeah.
yes. What's
Uh,
interesting is sometimes you'll pull one a lot. Like I just
yeah.
pulled, you know, it's interesting.
Right.
It's like what's meant to come through for you. Just reminding you.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're so beautiful. Like I just want to, they're gorgeous, like gorgeous colors, like very high vibing colors. And there's
Hmm.
something very magical about them. So
Thank you.
tell me a little bit about how the creation process was for you.
Yeah, so well, it's interesting because things don't always go the way we desire. So the stuff that I've been working in Canva, just making banners and things for a while. And so what happened was synchronicities. There's another coach I followed. I never look at my emails. I always click delete, click delete. But he had put something about a card deck creation. And so I watched your video. I purchased your course because I knew I needed some guidance along the way. And I was just ready to create. And I knew that if I stalled, it could take me years to do this,
Yeah.
right? So I'm like, I gave myself a deadline. I was like, I'm going to make this happen in the next month or so. And I already knew I wanted to use the chakras as the base. And I liked the idea, well, how could I make more than 20 cards? That's where I came up with, well, let's have an ask, an affirmation, and an action. I like the
Mm,
alliterance of that, right? Or
yeah.
whatever that's called.
Yeah.
And I like that there's like different ways you could take all the asks if you just want to work with the asks. You could take all of the ones for the root
Mm,
if you know you need to work on your root. So you could just play with it that way. So there's different ways you can play with it. And then I just started to, utilize what you have to sort of just write down what these different things were going to be. And I've worked with these chakras, with yoga, and with my clients for so long. I really felt like these messages just channeled through.
yeah.
Just seeing what people's blocks are and what helps and what affirmations
Yeah.
help. How can this be a little bit unique in the way this is stated? What's interesting is that the first name I had for this deck was a different name. And when I started to promo, before the deck was even made, just to kind of to get an interest list, I made in Canva like just a little thing, a little Instagram thing, and someone contacted me telling me in very legal terms that I was overstepping, that she already owned this name, and that this was overlapping. I did get a lawyer, and it turned out that that was not really the case, but I also energetically did not want to go down this path. And Rosie, you were just amazing with your guidance as well. I just shifted gears, and I'm so happy. Whenever we get roadblocks, we have to look at, oh, what's the opportunity on the other
Mhm.
side? Because now that I already have a membership called Activate. Activate Your Chakras. Now I have the ability to not just have one deck that's in a theme. I have a whole library available to me. Activate Your
Yeah.
Intuition. I'm running a course now called Activate Your Intuition.
All right.
So it's like, well, thank you.
That
Thank
was a
you for
gift.
that.
That was a gift.
Because,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's so interesting, right? Because we get attached to something like that's
Hmm.
the best name in the whole world ever. And we want that.
Hmm.
And yet when it falls apart, we say, oh my goodness, actually, thank goodness. So
Right.
yeah, so it was great to watch you through the process of that. But because even though we know things and we study things for years, right? It's like we still need that, there's always lessons showing up for us around it, right? And
Hmm.
ways that you actually using what you're teaching
Hmm.
to switch yourself out of it, right?
Oh my gosh, it's so funny because it's so much easier to talk about it to someone else than to actually have to. It's like, oh, I have to go through this lesson.
I
Thank
know.
you,
It's
thank
true.
you.
It's true.
Yeah, and what's interesting too is, in making these, I really just I went with this idea of, for me, my spirit animal is the dolphin. For me, I do best in my work when I am playing, even when we're talking
Mm,
about something serious, that we're always, just in this place of play. And so I let myself do it with the card deck too, and allowed myself just to have progress over perfection. So
yeah.
rather than looking to be a perfectionist around any one message, I just let them flow through. And then if I needed to kind of revisit something, I realized this is my first version. There could be another version down the
Yeah.
line too.
Right. Which I think that I love that because you did at one point just say, oh, okay, I'm going to stop myself from, because we can always like that perfection thing. Well, it's never good enough. Like we'll just keep changing it until we just keep changing it, right? So
Hmm.
it's great. You work with them for a while and you might upgrade them. It's not even, there's nothing, absolutely nothing wrong
I
with
think
them.
I'm good. I
So
think I'm good with
yeah.
these.
Yeah.
I
So
feel
why
like I
don't
want
you do a couple readings for us? Show us some,
to.
you know, of your beautiful work.
Thank you. I will. So what I like to do is I like to get into just a space of connecting to my highest self or universe, source, whatever you want to say, something greater than myself. And then I spread them out. I'm going to take one for the collective right now. I just pull from my non-dominant hand. And boy, I'm telling you, there's
Mm,
something about your group, Rosie. It's all about the heart chakra. It's all about love.
yeah.
This is
Oh,
the heart chakra. Where do
I
I
got the chills. That's amazing.
Where do I see love around me today? How beautiful is that? Where do I see love
Beautiful.
around me today? So when we ask this, we can go through our day and we can look at, even people we have difficulties with or
Yeah.
situations. I look at my kids and when I'm getting them ready and they're not ready and they forget things like, how can I see love around? I'm going to put that right here. How can I see love
Yes.
around me today? So how can I see love? How can I receive that love? Sometimes like we can have trouble receiving love. How can I receive that love? How can I receive it through letting a compliment in or seeing a beautiful animal? Like how much love is that I get to see a beautiful bird outside? Like the simple things.
Yeah. I mean, that again is so simple and yet not, because we're always focused on other stuff. And then
Hmm.
as soon as you ask the question, well, how do you see love? It's like, oh, well, yeah. It
Right.
just opens up everything. It's
Even
great.
my laundry pile, I can see love in the fact that I have these people in my life that I get to do laundry for. So
Yeah, isn't that's amazing? That is
we
amazing.
can do it that way. Here, I'm gonna pull another one. And what I was gonna do is maybe pull out for a specific chakra, just the ask affirmation and um, well, here's an affirmation. So I'll pull this one. This one is for the sacral, which when we are working with something creative like making a card deck or a book or being in coaching, we are always creating. So I celebrate my uniqueness. Something I find sometimes when I'm coaching is we can doubt. People can have imposter syndrome. Who am I to do this? Who am I to make a card deck? There's so many other people who are coaches, who are intuitives. Well, yes, and you are unique. There's no one else like you. You're just as unique as your thumbprint.
Yeah.
So as you pull this, you can just dive into, if some people don't like me, great, go get your burger somewhere else.
Right.
I'm going to be over here doing my thing
So
and,
important.
loving my people and really embracing my uniqueness. So
Beautiful.
whatever is within you that you feel might be a little different, like that's the sweet spot.
Mm,
Whatever is different, you're not meant to follow someone else. You're meant to do it the way
I love it.
that works for you and with you and your energy. So when we surrender to that, I don't have to be like any other coach. I just have to tap into who I be. And I mean, trust me,
Yeah.
I love coaching. I get
Yeah.
coached, but
No, I love the simplicity of them
mhm.
because they're like almost like smack you in the face. Oh, right. I mean, it's that simple. Is what they're
Yeah.
saying to me. It's like, oh, this long, drawn out thing. It's like, oh yeah, I get
Mhm.
that. It's the beautiful.
Right. Well, what I like is, and some of them are a little bit longer than others, but what I like is that, you know what that means for you,
Yeah.
right? So and the thing is to pull it, but also take time with it, like let it infuse your day, let it
Mm,
infuse your morning. That's the whole idea of an affirmation or a mantra. A mantra is one word. A mantra can be love because look at all that encompasses. A mantra can be, I am creative. Look at all that
yeah.
encompasses, right?
Yeah.
So, and here, now this, like, look at this, this is an action. So this one, I was doing readings this morning and I pulled this for someone. Sometimes you're going to tweak it for how it works for you. And the color is just like your beautiful necklace and my top. This
Mm,
is for the throat chakra. And
uh,
this one is listen, the action of listening. You could
mm.
tune this into yourself, to your guides. And this one, it's when we're with the throat
Now
chakra,
that's a
we're
hard one.
yeah.
Right? If you
I
think
didn't
about, because we
say,
don't know how to listen,
yeah,
it's
I didn't say they
great.
were all
Yeah.
easy. But it's listening, like with the throat chakra, we're speaking, but we're also listening.
Yeah.
We're listening for guidance. So actively listen to someone today without waiting to speak next. Notice how it feels to immerse yourself in simply listening.
Yeah. And I mean, that's so different than listening while you're thinking about what you're going to reply back, right? Which is kind
Hmm.
of the normal state,
Right.
unless you get yourself practiced
Yeah.
in that other way. That's great.
Exactly. Yeah, especially I think when it comes to like a spouse or someone where you're having like perhaps a difference of opinion
You already
with.
have it. You're already having the dialogue in your head of, of
Yep.
what's going to be like 3 sentences later. Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
super amazing. So the thing I love too is that you have so much more gift to give with these cards. So these are so wrapped up in all the things that you teach. So what are
Hmm.
some of the ways that people can work with you, using these cards?
Yeah.
Besides, and there's going to be a link below where you can absolutely link to purchase this deck and use it on your own, but there's so much more that comes with it with
Yeah.
Steph. So tell us
Yeah,
about that.
thank you. So I have a membership for women. It's Activate, the membership for soul-led women. And every week we have a class together. We get together
Mm,
for something around intuition. And right now we're going through the different ways we sense our intuition, which to me is like one of the top uh, gifts we can have to help guide us, to help make our decisions. So it might be clairaudience, like the way we hear a message, or clairsentience, the way we feel it. So when we're feeling doubt, we're feeling fear, how can we tap into that inner self? So we're going through that right now. There is a whole library of bingeable courses in there, including a whole thing on chakras, like an entire course on chakras. So if that
beautiful.
is something that you are looking to dive into deeper, that's already in there. So that's my membership.
Yeah.
I also work one-on-one with women to help us to bring our gifts into the world, to get that clarity, to feel soul-led.
Mm,
So I do have my one-on-one packages. On my website, there are individual sessions, or you can just message me. We can kind of get to know each other and see
yeah.
what's a fit. I like to start with an intuitive read. When I first began coaching, I just felt like something was kind of missing, like I wanted to get quicker to the heart of what was going on for people. And
Mm,
now clients will tell me that we'll do more in one session that they've done in years of therapy. And I attribute it to working with the intuitive piece. And when I'll do a scan, I'll scan through your chakras. I'll ask, like, what's your highest purpose? What's your biggest block? And then we'll kind of create an action plan and some clearing from there.
beautiful. Wow.
You.
Really special. Really special. And this seems to just be kind of like the tool, the like seed where all that other beautiful stuff grows out of, right?
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
a starting point with you. And I think that they're really, 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 really special, really, really done well.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
what what did you learn about yourself during the creation process?
I learned that I could see this happening. I got to a certain point, and it was almost the point of stagnation.
Mm,
And you know what it was? This is, I know this, I like to be creative. I don't like nitty gritty things, like getting the ISBN number, things with numbers, like things that are of the real
right.
world. Like this just felt like a real BITCH to me. And it
So
wasn't that
funny.
hard. It's not that hard, but
Right.
I just was like, ugh. But I wanted to get it. It wasn't really that big of a
And you
deal.
did a very nice job on that, by the way.
Thank you.
I will
Thank you.
say it's what's so interesting to me is that we have that ego side of us that's always trying to stop us from doing and so it's gonna whatever it plans. So for you, it's like, oh, this ISBN number, oh my God, right? And meanwhile,
Yeah.
after you did it, you probably said, okay, it
Yeah.
wasn't all that bad,
Right,
right?
right. And then the next part, and you were really great at this because you could see this, like you could see this. And I think it was like the size of the cards. There was like those little tiny tweaks at the very, very
Oh
end.
yes, I saw you right away. I was like, no.
Yeah, or like at some point I want to have a fancy box. I'll have a fancy box.
Yeah.
And right now I love the bag I have. I love it. People love it. People love getting this
Yeah,
beautiful
and
bag
you
that
could
it
stick
comes
little
with.
stones, treats in there, little
Right.
crystals.
Yes, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I think what I knew this about myself. So the beauty is, and you were very helpful to help guide me past it, is just those little perfectionist things that want to come out. you know, just allowing them to be so we can celebrate our uniqueness
Well,
and just
yeah, and if you really think about how many people have already, because I see you all over Facebook, how many people are loving up these cards and really finding them useful. It's like, oh, if you were sitting on, you're like, oh my God, let me measure. There's like an eighth of a something. Those
yeah.
people wouldn't have got the cards yet, right?
I know,
Maybe
right.
never.
You're
Yeah,
right, exactly. Yeah, and this is what can happen is,
right.
and I'm aware of this. Is why it's so important
Yeah,
just to keep putting one foot in front of the other and
yeah,
just
yeah.
put it out there. Just put it out there.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Really a totally amazing job. Um,
Thank you.
is there, so I'm sure everyone's going to be inspired by this. Is there anything, any words of wisdom you want to leave everyone with?
Yeah, I really just am feeling just see your inner spark for the beauty that it is. Just see your beautiful inner spark and let that come through. You know, whatever fear you might have that's making you procrastinate, whatever your flavor is, like I'm too busy, it's the money, it's this. When you have that spark, go for it. One thing that I've done is I've started to follow my intuition, even purchasing your course one step after the other, and it's quickened. Things are happening quicker because I am allowing myself to surrender and be in the flow. The flow wants to be with you, it wants to be with us. So just surrender to it, trust. And when you start to see those little hiccups like that we put in our own road, just notice it and be like, no, I'm good, I'm good. And just trust, just
I
keep
love
going. If you
that.
need support, find someone like Rosie, find someone to help support you, and let yourself be seen. Let spark be seen. People need you.
Mm, it's beautiful, so beautiful. Thank you so much. It
Thank
was
you.
a pleasure, in that, like, there's certain, certain people that you work with that, like, even when you get, you see, you understand, oh, I see what I'm doing. Yes, I'm doing that. It's like, so it's such a great thing when we can catch ourselves like that. And
Mhm.
really, again, you putting your beautiful gift out into the world and helping so many people. So thank you so much for that. It's
Thank you,
a
Rosie. It was
pleasure.
really a gift finding your course and your support to help this happen. Thank you. You helped me make this happen.
Awesome. Thanks, Steph.
Thank
All
you.
right. So, Guy, all the information to contact Stephanie and all of her great stuff is going to be here for you. So reach out and have a good time.